Hey everybody, it's Lala Black Sheep here today to do my True Blood Season 6 Episode 10, the finale, titled Radioactive. I am so sorry that I'm late, guys. I wasn't feeling well. I'm honestly not feeling that great now, but I had like a monster headache and I'm exhausted. I've been doing so much, and that's neither here nor there. I also felt a little disappointed, a lot of disappointed, or maybe the best word to use would be confused about the finale, the episode, this season's finale. I was so worked up, okay, and I'm talking to my teenager. I'm like, what should I do? Like, I want to make my finale review like really special, and I want to do something really cool and everything because it's the finale. And he's like, maybe you could dress up, maybe you could do this. And then, I broke my neck to get home to watch it. Wasn't able to watch the first showing, so I had to wait for the encore. So I had to stay up until 11 to watch the encore. Had to be to work the next day. Had a horrible, stressful day that day at work. So I was already like burnt out by the time I got home. But I'm like, the finale is coming on. Like, I gotta stay up. I gotta do this. This is gonna make up for everything. And I was just sitting there like, what? Like, it was ups and downs. Like, I was like, yeah, no, huh? Ooh, wait, yeah, I felt like I was having a seizure, y'all. It was crazy. So, I'm sorry. I felt really bad for not getting to you. I know you guys probably saw my horrible video yesterday, my little 40-second video, letting you know that I didn't forget about you guys. I'm talking about I was busted. I was not feeling well. I just didn't have it in me. So I'm here now. Hi. Hopefully you didn't give up on me and you're here watching right now. Okay, so let's get to it. All right. I took notes for the first half, and I'm gonna try to do the second half. We'll go through it. We'll see. Okay, so we start off after Terry's funeral, and Sookie is she's standing at the cemetery. She's watching them bury Terry and kind of reflecting, and she's got a lot going on with her. She's got a lot on her mind, and it looks like she's just kind of going through all of that. And now see, he's there like, hey, you need somebody to talk to. What's going on, and he was there. He went to the funeral, and I think I said in the last video, in last episode's review, that like I honestly didn't think that he was really there for Terry because he didn't know Terry. I felt like he was really there to get with Sookie and see what was going on with her, now that all his wolf crazy wore off or whatever, and he was done with the pack. So she's thinking about some stuff, and she wanted to take a walk, and he thought that was like a little hint to leave her alone. She was like, no, I want you to walk with me. So they were walking together, and she mentioned that Jason would have left the funeral, and she's a little worried about him. And he's like, Jason's one of those people, like he's a survivor. I'm pretty sure wherever he is, whatever he's doing, he'll be okay. And I was a little irritated by the fact that through all of this, Sookie never realized that he was missing, and never kind of realized what was going on with Jason and now, like, where are they? But I have to remind myself that even though it's been weeks for us, it's only been like 2 or 3 days or something in Bon Tom. So, maybe not seeing him for a couple of days, especially with everything that was going on and how she wasn't really going home either, is enough time not enough time to notice that somebody is like MIA. So I'll let that go. But at first I was just like, don't nobody realize that they haven't seen each other? Like, what's going on? How you gonna take care of somebody, protect somebody, and neither one of y'all know where the hell y'all at? But okay, so yeah. And Alcide just kind of mentioned to Sookie, he was talking about life and just how unexpected things are, and he's been quite the philosopher for the past few episodes about just life and death and the way things are, and how you just got to deal with it and you'll be okay. And Sook was saying that he surprised her a little bit, and he mentioned how she told everybody at the funeral that she was a telepath, and how he wishes that he could be one so he can get into her head and see what's going on with her. And she was just like, my head is the last place you want to be. So he's like, that ain't true. And then, they have a quick little moment. And Alcide smells something. So Sookie's like, what's going on? And he's like, I smell vampires, in the day, a lot of them, and it's broad daylight. So, they go to find out what's going on. They peek around the corner or whatever, around the bush, I don't know. And they're at Bill's mansion, and they see all of, the daywalker vampires dancing around all high and happy and naked and getting it in. And just like I told you, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Everybody's all, sunlight. Child, I wish I can get all that from the sunlight. I be outside all the time. They see, and you see Bill, he's kind of on the porch, just kind of in the midst of all the vampires celebrating everything, and he just looks visibly distraught. He's like bothered, he should be happy because he saved everybody, and and he accomplished this mission, but something's bothering him, something's tugging at him. So he goes head on inside the house, and they see Jason with Violet and everything, and they all boo loving and stuff, and Alcide's like, well, at least we know Jason is okay. It looks like the vampires are like burning their prison clothes, and it looks like they put on Bill and Jessica's spare clothing, but for some reason Bill's been a vampire for a long time. I know Jessica is still a baby vamp, but all of those clothes were pretty bright and happy to be pulled out of a vampire's mansion. I don't know if maybe Bill had some spare clothes, or, that he kept around for visitors, but every time I saw him, he was wearing black. And Jessica, she's kind of dark, but still kind of light and everything, so I can understand her having some of the clothes. So it was interesting that everybody, that always happens, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know, nobody answers phones in this house, so hold on. It's gonna be okay, sorry, because it'll just ring until it stops ringing. They don't I got time for that. So okay, yeah, it was light, and I don't know, I was just surprised by the fact that everybody could fit the clothes all the same. I guess everybody's the same size, I don't know. Maybe because I'm used to being a big girl, I'm not used to that type of reality where I just put on anybody's clothes wherever I wind up. But those are things that I pay attention to, and my son is like, Mom, let it go, just stop. So Sookie's like, I need to go see what's going on, and Alcide's like, no, boo boo, you got a bunch of day walking vampires, like, I done been here for the past 6 seasons, I don't think that's a good idea. And Sookie's like, trust me, I'm okay, I'm a survivor too, so you go on ahead, and I'm gonna go up here and see what's going on with everybody. Not to mention the fact that Jason was with him too. So if anything, I'll see, but I don't know. He doesn't know what's going on, and his mind is on Sookie right now. So he wasn't happy with staying behind. The opening credits come on, and I don't think I've ever mentioned this to you guys, but I have always hated the opening credits. I never really realized it at first, but I always look away or find something to do. It's so gross and just random and demented, that whole thing. I can never get into watching the opening credits. So we come back, and Sook is talking to Jason, Jason and Violet are together, and they're boo loving and kissing, and she's drinking him, and he tells her, like, remember when you said that, I was going to want to have sex with you? Well, I think I'm ready. And she's like, in due time, darling, and all this other stuff. And, she lets him drink her blood. And then, they're kissing and stuff. And then that's when Sook comes up, and Jason's like, Sookie. And Violet, who is Violet, she's like, who the fuck is that? She is a jealous something. He's like, yo, it's my sister. And she's like, you ain't never mentioned sister before. He's like, Sook, tell her you're my sister. And she's like, I'm a sister. What the fuck? Like, who is this chick, and why is she acting like that? And then, of course, as Violet is, she's like, then you're my sister too. And as we do with sisters, we French kiss each other. And Jason's like, Sookie, meet Violet. She's European. And I love Jason. He's just funny and goofy. And I honestly think that Jason is like double high right now. Like, he had Eric's blood, and now Violet's giving him her blood, and I think Jason is just really out of it. But he tells Sookie, like, he belongs to her, and he kind of feels the way Sookie used to feel with Bill, when somebody's really got your back and everything. And, Sookie's like, well, just be careful with that, trusting somebody to have your back, because even with vampires, forever isn't always exactly forever. And Jason's like, are you okay? Because you're not usually like that. And she's like, I'm fine. Because, Sookie, she never tells anybody what's going on. And if she did, I guess, the show would only be 2 seconds long. So there you go. So she tells him she's fine. And then Pam and Tara, they show up, they see Sookie. And Pam's like, I'm actually happy to see you. Like, go figure. And, they hug and everything. And then Tara comes out and she's like, oh, Sookie, Bill gave us his magical blood and now there's light. And it's like, okay, Tara, go and drink some water or something, sweetie. Okay, I think you had a little bit too much. Maybe you're a little dehydrated. I don't know. Just have a seat, drink some water, put your head between your legs. I don't know, something. So, while she's saying hi to everybody and hugs and all that other stuff, Bill is watching from the window, and he's really upset. And Sookie kind of, Tara was like, it's gonna be really hard to hate him now. Like, I don't think I can ever hate Bill again because he saved us. And she's like, well, good luck with that, because Sookie ain't really feeling Bill after what he said about her going with Warlow. Like, no, I don't give a fuck. Go ahead and be a vampire fairy princess. Like, why are you talking to me about it? Why don't you get going and get it done? And she's like, okay, guys, I gotta go. So she says her goodbyes, and then she goes back to Fairyland to see Warlow. When she gets there, Warlow is decorating a maypole, and at first I was like, where did he get a maypole from? But then I was like, you know what? There's chandeliers there, so maybe he got it from the same place. I don't know. Maybe there's a Pier 1 imports that, like, in the back of Fairyland or something, they could just kind of pop behind a tree and go into to get stuff. I don't know. But, yeah, so he's decorating his maypole with ribbons and flowers and stuff for their ceremony, for their wedding ceremony. And he's all like, hey, and look at what I did, and we're going to hold it and walk around it, and then we're going to grab the 2 circles and use our light to make it one, and jump a broom and break some glass and a handkerchief and all this other stuff. And, things like, I've been around for 6,000 years, so I have plenty of time to plan this. And Sookie's like, yeah, about that. I was wondering if maybe instead of us getting married right this second, we could, like, slow down and date, and he was like, driving movies and bowling. And she's like, no, not really, like, just kind of existing outside of this plane and seeing how we fit together, meeting my friends and my family and being a part of the community and everything. He does throw Bill and Eric up in her face, like, those are your friends. Are you talking about friends like that? And she's like, well, no, but there's Jason and Tara and Pam and other people, who would be really cool. Excuse me, guys, this is what's running through my veins right now. It's probably the only reason I can sit up here and do this. Okay, it's not very healthy. Having a hard time finding energy, so if you have any suggestions, put it in the box below. Thanks. Okay. So she's like, yeah, let's just date, and he's like, but we made we made an arrangement, we had a deal. And she's like, yeah, but sometimes marriages shouldn't be set on deals, like it's a relationship, not a business transaction. Warlow's like, well, actually it kind of is. But she's just like, just try to slow it down, like, we'll still be together, but let's just do it, like, the right way. And Warlow's like, oh yeah, she was like, I had a lot has changed since I've been away. And that's when he was like, you've only been gone for 4 hours. Like, what the fuck, Sookie? So anyway, yeah, she's like, let's slow down. And he's like, all right, slow down. Yeah, spuck out. Just smacked her on across that field right there. And I'm pretty sure that surprised her. Probably had her own little fairies kind of spinning around her head like, dumbass, 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 dumbass. I don't know. But, and the thing is, when that happened, I heard so many people like, I couldn't believe he did that. And I'm like, dude, all it is, I've loved you for 6,000 years, and I want us to walk the earth together. We can heal each other, and we can blah. Like, I don't believe none of that stuff. You into me, then you don't show up in my bathroom, like I said before, with some big old ugly head talk about, I'm coming to get you. You're mine. Because that's not sexy. To some people, it may be. Not to me. Okay? Danger, horror or not, I'm sorry, but I would be much more receptive if you showed up at my door with some flowers, some candy, okay? I like to keep my candies. Don't eat them. I usually just kind of keep them. They're like sentimental. Maybe not waste your money on that, but something. Send me a card from wherever the heck you are, that little universe or dimension that you're stuck in. Send a pigeon through or something with a card, tied to his foot. Not all that scary pop at me while I'm in the bathroom getting changed and stuff. That's not sweet. That's not romantic. It's weird. It's stalkerish. It's demented. It's all kinds of wrong, okay? And when you meet my parents, even though you killed them because we're talking about Sookie, but whatever, I'm pretty sure when they say, so how'd you guys meet? And it's like, well, a big old ugly head came out of the air in my bathroom, and he was like, I'm coming to get you. And I was like, oh, he's cute. No, that doesn't work. Okay, so when he snapped, I was like, it's about time. And I honestly wish that the writers I honestly wished that the writers didn't wait until the finale for him to finally be like, I'm sick of this. Sick of your shit, Sookie. I done got drained. I done got this. It's stuck in this little light, crazy IKEA commercial. Like, what's up? But he did, and he was just like, I don't, who the fuck you talking to? Like, I did not wait 5,500 years to become a part of your community. So he starts choking her, and she's got that look on her face like, oh, I didn't see this coming at all. Not really sure where you've been for the past 6 seasons, Sookie, honey, but you gotta start. When you stopped and was like, usually when I stop for strangers, it doesn't work out for me, you should have just kept on going. Just kept it on walking. Instincts, Sookie. We all have it. Us women. With that gut feeling, you go for it. We know when something ain't right. And the problem that we have is we don't listen to it. Alright? But that's what it's there for. So we don't wind up stuck in some kind of fairyland, whatever universe, tied to some magical maypole wrapped with flowers and ribbons and stuff like that, with some crazy 6,000-year-old stalker, okay, tying us up and choking us. That's why you keep walking. All right, hopefully you learned. So anyway, we kind of switch back over to Bill's house, and the day vamps are playing volleyball. And Jason and Jessica, it's Jason and Violet on one side, and Jessica and James on the other side. And, somebody scored a goal, and Jason and Jessica was like, woo, yeah, come on, got this, having a good time. And, Violet's feeling like they're having a little bit too much fun with each other. So, she takes the ball and she volleys the fuck out of Jessica. Just a pow, and just knocks her down, and Jessica's like, okay, and James like, wow, and Jason is just like, yeah, baby, woo, that's what you get, Jessica. And I'm sorry, but to me it seems like Jason's a little more intimidated than he is infatuated, because that little chuckle he did looked really scary to me, and I feel like I fear for Jason. I feel like I'm losing light, guys. I'm sorry, 1 second. There we go. I feel like I'm losing Jason. I fear for Jason. Here we go. I fear for Jason because I feel like the type of person that Jason is, eventually he's gonna do something wrong. And Violet is not the type of person that just sets your clothes on fire and slashes your tires. She's the type of person that sets you on fire and slashes your throat before she drinks your blood and drains you of all of the stuff that's in your body, and then rips your body apart and pisses on it or something. I don't know. But she just seems like that type of person. And I just, that type of person with Jason, it scares me. And I'm just worried for next season. I don't know. Violet is really cool. And she really seems to have his back. But she really seems scary too. You know, sometimes you can have somebody's back just a little too much. Un poquito. Okay? Alright. So, okay, yeah. So, Tara and Pam are kind of on, well, Tara's on the side with a bunch of other vampires. They're watching the game. Tara's like, whoa, what's going on? And then she notices Pam, you know, standing by a tree, and Pam is looking more like Pam now. And she's back to doing her little kind of thing that she always does. And she's like, I don't know, maybe my buzz wore off. But she's just like, you know, what's going on? And has Willa noticed that Erica's going, and Pam is like, tell me you are not thinking about going after that dude after he left you. Like, are you serious? And Pam is like, look, I don't want to do it, but I will release you if you push me. Like, don't. I'm not here for it. I'm not trying to hear what you have to say. This is what it is. So, you know, take care of Willa for me. And, you know, Tara's like, you two are the worst fucking makers ever. I love when Tara gets mad, the way she curses. She sounds so funny. With her little sun hat and her sundress and stuff, and her little braided pigtail. That was cute. It was cute. So yeah, so Pam flies away and whoosh up through the trees, and Tara's just standing there like, man, like, I got the worst moms ever. Poor baby. Poor thing. So Bill's in the house, and he's trying to use his Bill of powers, like, come to me, amp. Come to me, amp. And it's not working. He has to pick it up and drink it through the straw. This was in the show, what I just did. Not unprofessional at all. And you know, Jess walks in, and she's just like, what's going on? You know, and Bill's like, I lost all my powers. I don't have any more Lilith in me. You know, and she's like, well, you say that like it's a bad thing. And he's like, well, you know, maybe it isn't a bad thing, but, you know, the powers and everything we did and saving you guys, it all came at a price. Sorry, my aunt's dog is here. He just does really weird things sometimes. Just, I don't know. Anyway, he's a little dachshund, but he's like all chunky and wobbly and cute, and he's a little crazy too. I digress. I always just trail up. I'm so sorry, guys. That's why my videos are like an hour long. I gotta stop just rambling like I'm doing right now. So she's like, you say that like it's a bad thing. He's like, yeah, well, you know, it probably isn't, but it did come at a price. You know, Sookie had to make a deal, you know, or whatever, in order to get what we needed to save you guys. And he's like, and so Jessica's like, what exactly you're saying? He's like, well, she's gonna be made into a vampire, you know. And Jessica's like, well, why aren't you doing anything about it? And he's like, well, I can't, you know, and she's upset with me, and I really messed up. And, you know, Jessica's like, dude, like, the Bill I know would walk through fire to save Sookie, like you did, you know, for every season before this one, like you always did. And you are a real jerk, but this is your chance to redeem yourself, so we need to go save her, you know. So he's like, yeah, so she's like, all right, we gotta go get Jason or whatever, or somebody said we gotta go get Jason. I'm sorry, I fast forwarded through that with my notes because I just couldn't sit and watch every single minute of it again. And so Jason comes, and he's like, wait, what? Like, so the dude who killed my parents has my sister now. And he's like, there's no way in the world that Sookie would just agree to go with this dude after everything that he did. So what did you do, Bill? And Bill's like, well, I kind of sort of encouraged her and told her that I really didn't give a fuck and that it was a good idea for her to become that very vampire princess thing or whatever, because I didn't care about her and I needed a job done, and, you know, she was really just collateral and, you know, just a little stuff, nothing major, you know. And Jason's like, I would straight kill you, like right now, like I would just kill you, but I gotta go save my sister. So what do I have to do? Because he still doesn't know what to do. He just found out about this. So yeah, Bill's like, well, they're trapped in this fairy plane or whatever together in the cemetery. The only way we can access it is through another fairy. And the only other fairy in Montauk is Adeline, thanks to Jessica and her fairy eating behind. Even though I know she's a baby and we're not really that mad at her. So, okay. Woo, Jessica. So Jason's like, okay, well, we got to go get her, and Jessica's like, I don't know. I think Jessica's like, we can't, after what we did, Andy wouldn't want to help us. And Jason's like, I'll go by myself, And Violet was like, you're not going by yourself. Like, he's never going to be alone again. Jessica. So they both go to Andy's. And let's see. Oh, so then we go back to Mr. Takahashi. Bill is walking Mr. Takahashi out to like the middle of the woods or something, and he's all scared because he thinks Bill's gonna kill him. And Bill, turns him around and glamours him, puts a bag down next to him. He's like, look, you never met me. None of this has ever happened. You never met any of the people that you met through me. Forget all of that stuff. I'm gonna swoosh away, and you're gonna look down, and you're gonna see this bag, and you're gonna take it back to your family. Hopefully they won't be too upset with you about missing it for all of this time. I can't fix that, but, at least I can let you go and erase all of this from your mind. Thank you for everything you did. I'm sorry for any pain that I've caused you. I'm out. Deuces. So he turns around, swishes away. Takahashi kind of like comes to, and he's like, what's this bag? It's filled with money. Yay! Well, he actually said like holy shit in Japanese or whatever, but I said it that night, and then I don't remember what I said and whatever. So yeah, so he's Bill, he's Bill again. He's Bill again, and I'm happy because I hated, I loathed, I abhorred. Did I say it the right way? Yeah, Bill. I Billith. I didn't like Billith. He was horrible. He was horrible. If that kind of power makes you into that type of person, I don't want it, because he was a monster. It was crazy. So I'm happy to see that he's coming back. So Jason and Violet get to Andy's house, and he's like, come on in, let's talk or whatever. And Jason's like, you gotta invite us in. And Andy's like, oh no, Holly, go. I remembered her name. Holly, take Adeline upstairs, whatever. And Violet's like, I'm 800 years old, and your daughter does smell good. She's only half fairy. She does smell good, but I'm devoted to Jason. I only drink his blood. He's my only bitch, so it's okay. Don't worry about your daughter. And Andy's like, anyway, get Adeline upstairs. And Jason's like, no, like, Andy, listen, I need you to help me. They got Sookie and all this other stuff, and help me save her. So Adeline's like running upstairs with Holly, but then she hears Jason. Excuse me, guys. She hears his thought. He's just like, I don't want to lose my sister like you lost yours, and please, like, I'm so scared, and I can't lose, my sister. She's all I got, whatever. So Adeline's like, well, no, Dad, I want to help him, and so he has to deal, because she won't. She insists on helping out. So they get together with their guns and everything, and they start loading up and doing all of their double Rambo stuff. And I think they're so cute when they get together, guns blazing. He's like, Andy's like, all right, we're gonna do this. We gotta go in heavy. And Jason's like, there isn't any other way. Like, come on now. So I thought, oh, ain't no other way. But I thought that was really cute, the way they just are kind of like, so we go back to Fairyland, Fayplane, whatever. And Warlow has used the maypole to tie Sookie up. So he's still using it. They're going to have their own little, non-traditional ceremony, where you tie her up and you drink her blood and make her your bitch that way, instead of spinning around and using your light. And so as long as we get to the destination, right, Warlow, you got to stay focused. Okay? You can't be getting no cold feet at the last minute. I'll handle it. And then, of course, God loves Sookie. He's like, I'm going to do this. We're going to get together. Like, I ain't got time to be playing around. This is when he says, like, I ain't wait 5,500 years to be a part of your community or whatever. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. And he's like, I hate who I am. Like, I used to be a fairy and life was awesome. And Lilith took that away from me, and I took that away from my family because I ate them. And here we go with the phone again. So, I don't know. That's probably just going to have to ring because I don't know who that is. But he's like, I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. This hardly ever happens. Yeah, he's like, you're going to fill this hole. Like, you're going to make it right. And Sookie's like, I cannot give you back what you lost. Like, even if I wanted to, I can't do that. You know, so then Sookie, because she's so awesome and smart, decides to make her little light ball. And she's like, see this? And instead of just using it, she said she was going to throw it. You know, he was like, I know you're not going to use that on me. She was like, yeah, but I can throw it out of here and I won't be a fairy at all. And then all you got is like a regular chicken. That's just going to ruin all your plans. But instead of just using it, what does she do that makes the bad guy or even the good guy lose his footing and let the other person get the upper hand? She starts monologuing. See this weapon right here? I can use it. Right here in your face. I'll mess everything up. I'll ruin all your plans. It'll be foiled. This thing right here in your face that you can grab and tie my hands around back here and completely disarm me because I keep running my mouth. Good job, Sookie. Nile taught you well. Moron. I'm like, why would you, you're using the ball, throw it, and then tell them why you threw it. Don't, hey, I got this ball. Look at this. Look at what I could do. So he could just stop you from doing it. Anyway, so he grabs her hands. He ties them back so that she can't make the ball anymore. And he binds her with the light. And she just starts fussing and cussing and calls him a monster. And he starts kind of smirking. And she's like, it's funny that your intended called you a monster. Honey, your words aren't that powerful. He has you tied up. All right? He's given up on the romance. He's ready to just take it. He doesn't care what you call him. He doesn't care. Okay? He talk about something in 1,000 or 2,000 years, you'll learn to love me. And that's another thing, Warlow. If you think that Sookie is going to finally just be okay with all of this in 1,000 or 2,000 years, why couldn't you find a way to be okay with being a fairy vampire after doing it for 6,000 years? It's a long time to be upset about something, okay? It's a long time to hold a grudge. It is what it is. And it's been that way for 6,000 years. I don't think anybody cares anymore. And anybody that did care is dead. So you shouldn't care anymore either, Warlow. Get over it. 6,000 years? I don't even understand how you can remember why you're upset anymore. So he's smirking because it's nightfall. As I said, he doesn't care that she called him a monster. He has other things on his mind. It's nighttime. He drops Fang. He bites her and he begins to drain her. On with the show, people. Alright? He's got a wifey to make. So he's draining her, and we flash outside of Fairyland. Jason, Andy, Violet, and Adeline have gotten to the cemetery, and they meet up with Bill. Bill thanks Andy. Andy's like, fuck you. And they get together, and they're trying to figure out how to get Adeline to beam them, to use her light, to beam them into the fairy plane. Adeline's never used light before. She's only 2 weeks old. She doesn't know how to do anything really, which is why she keeps winding up in trouble, poor baby. And she doesn't have anybody to teach her, so she doesn't know what to do. So Bill tries to explain to her how to use it, and it's not working because she's really confused. And then Bill's finally like, well, you know, I don't want to scare her, but fear is like the best way, you know, for a fairy to harness their power. And Violet's like, well, why didn't you say so? You know, so she phases in front of her and pops her fangs out. She's like, harness your fucking power! You know, Adeline's like, ah! And they get in. Access granted. So they show up. Warlow is drinking Sookie. Bill's like, get her, I'ma get him. You know, so he runs over, grabs him. They shoot Sookie down. Violet phases over real fast and catches her, and then they phase back, and Bill is like, leave me so I can deal with Warlow, and they're trying to get Adeline to get her power back so she can phase him out. So he goes to, Warlow goes to run towards the group of girls, the group, and Bill grabs the broken maypole because somebody got knocked into it. I think Bill got knocked into it and it broke. So he grabs the broken maypole and he smacks the crap out of Warlow while he's in mid-run. And that makes him fly into like a broken wooden stake or whatever, which impales him. And, instead of like, I don't know, dying or whatever, he's like, like, this is such an inconvenience, and that's enough to scare Adeline. So she screams, and then they phase out again, and they're free. So they go to head back to the Stackhouse house, Stackhouse house, and Bill and Warlow keep fighting. Warlow kind of gets the best of Bill for a minute, so he goes to phase out, and Bill grabs his leg like right on time, so they're free. So Warlow flies away, and Bill, I guess, can't fly. I can't really remember, obviously, so he runs to the house. At the house, they get there. Everybody runs inside. Violet and Jason take Sookie upstairs. Jason tells Andy where Adeline can hide, okay, because, she's very vulnerable. And so Adeline goes and hides in, like, the little cubby or, I don't know, cellar or whatever, a bunker under the house. And Andy goes to stand watch outside with his gun. So Violet and Jason are upstairs with Sookie, and Violet starts feeding Sookie her blood so she can heal her, because she's like really out of it. She's about to die. And, no sooner than they get to do that than, yes, honey? Excuse me, guys. No, baby, Mommy's going to be finished soon, so go ahead upstairs because this isn't appropriate. Go ahead. Love you, babe. I'll be finished in a second, okay? All right. Here, come here. Sorry, guys. I'm real quick. Here, hurry up. Run. Run.
Where are those guys?
Go. Go ahead. Play Ninja Fruit or Angry Birds, nothing else. And don't buy anything. Love you. So sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. My teenager is at work right now, so I don't have anybody to occupy my baby while I'm down here. So he's up in a room playing with the door closed, but he's bored, so now he has to play my phone game. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, as soon as they start to feed Sookie, Warlow shows up. He attacks Andy in the back. They think that in the room, sorry, they think that Andy's like, I got him, because he shoots him, and Warlow he didn't get him. So Warlow grabs Andy and takes him somewhere. He's basically, I wrote it down so I can get it together because a lot happened. Alright, so, sorry. Okay, so, Warlow arrives, beats everyone up. Bill gets there in time to, like, stake Warlow, but Warlow is just past the threshold in the house. So Bill goes to do it, and he can't because he can't get past the door because he's not Billith anymore, so he can't just walk in. And if you guys remember back a while ago, Sookie rescinded his invitation, so he can't come in. And Warlow realizes this and gloats about it a little bit, like, hi, you're not Billith, you're not anybody, and Sookie doesn't want you anyway, so get the heck out of here. And he zaps the crap out of Bill with his light. Okay, so he goes, when he got in the house, Jason ran downstairs to shoot him. Violet ran in front of Jason, which kind of kept Jason from being able to shoot him, but it also protected Jason from getting zapped. So when he zapped Violet, he just kind of smacked her into Jason, and they both fell, knocked them both out. So then Warlow grabbed Jason and was like, tell me where to hide you. He glamored him. Jason told him about the little cubby that Adeline is in, so he dropped everybody down there. He left Violet on the floor because she wasn't really going to do anything. She's only 800 years old, and she was zapped. So he dropped everybody into the cubby, and he went upstairs. He found Sookie in the shower. She's trying to harness her light, but she's really weak, so she couldn't do it. So he grabs her, and he's about to attack her or whatever, and she's like, that's when he was like, in 1,000 or 2,000 years, you'll learn to love me, and she's like, no. So he gets ready to bite her, and then Niall pops up in the little portal, the little opening that he said a few episodes ago, was like the opening. It was the only way, the weak spot that he could get in. Niall came back, and he grabs Warlow, and somehow, I guess Adeline was able to open the lock with her light, but it looked like she was struggling with it the last time we saw them. It's weird because Niall shows up and grabs Warlow, and then he's like, Jason, a little help, and Jason pops up and stakes Warlow, and it was like they had planned it. It was really confusing because I'm like, they had a plan, it fell apart, but then it ends really quickly and clean and everything and rushed like it was planned. And I felt like they just was like, let's just hurry up and do this and get done with it. It was just really weird. So they staked Warlow. He died. And, as he's dying, everybody who has, the SPF 9 million or whatever Warlow sunscreen, it wears off. But of course it's nighttime at that point, which is why he was able to start attacking Sookie and everything anyway. So they're fine. Jason and Sookie pulled Niall out of the little portal thing or whatever, so he's cool, he's good. Unfortunately, on the other part of the world, in the Swiss Alps, is where Eric disappeared to. He's sunbathing naked at the top of a mountain in the Swiss Alps, a snow-covered mountain, of course. And as the SPF 9 million wears off for everybody else, it wears off for him. And unfortunately, it's not nighttime where he is. And there's also not much shelter because he's on the top of a friggin' mountain, booty butt naked. So he catches on fire. They show his junk. Honestly, I'm in love with Eric, but I would have been okay if I didn't see that. That just kind of ruined the fantasy for me. Sorry, guys. So he's like, no, and he's on fire, and he drops to his knees, and then they phase away. Now, a lot of people were like, oh, Eric's dead. Oh my God, I can't believe he did that. And I honestly think, sorry guys, I don't think Eric is dead. Number one, for a character that's as important as he is, you would not just kill him off in such an unimportant way. It was just kind of like, hey, he's on fire. What's going on over here? You don't do that with somebody that important. Terry was like a supporting actor, like a supporting actor. And this dude got 3 episodes of like, oh my God, Terry died. So you're not going to kill Eric in a split second on the top of a mountain in the Swiss Alps. I think that Pam is going to get there somehow and save him, or the snow is going to come into play. Something's going to happen, but he's not going to die. Not to mention the fact that if you kill Eric off, you're losing like 80% of your audience because everybody loves Eric, okay? I love Eric way more than Sookie. I love Eric way more than Bill. I mean, Eric, Jason, Lala. Those are like my 3 absolute positive favorites. So I'm not going to be okay if I lose any one of those guys. So I don't think Eric is dead, okay? Now, here we go again. This has never happened before. Why is the phone ringing so much? Oh my gosh. All right, well that one's going to be answered soon. So then what do we do, people? We pop ahead 6 months. And this is interesting because this is where I was like going back and forth, okay? Warlow is killed and I'm like, yeah! Eric gets set on fire and I'm like, whoa, what? No, wait, huh? And then we go ahead 6 months and we show up with Bill being interviewed. I know it's a famous show, but I'm not familiar with it, so I don't know what the name is. If you guys just want to tell me below, I'd appreciate it, but I just really didn't do any research about this episode because I didn't feel like it was worth it. So Bill has written a book called And God Bled, and he's being interviewed for it, telling people he was a god, he's no longer a god, and bragging about how he killed Governor Truman Burrell. And the interviewer, the host of the show, is like, well, basically this is like a 360-page confession about the fact that you killed Governor Burrell. And he's like, it may be, but don't nobody care because apparently they mentioned that Hep V has spanned across the world. Like it's everywhere now. Vampires are being infected, they're dying and everything. So Bill is like, it may be an irrevocable confession, but nobody's gonna be upset because, you know, Governor Burrell thought up this disease and intentionally put it out there to kill all of these people. You know what I mean? So he's a pretty horrible person, you know. So first I was like, the heck is going on? Because it just seemed really campy to have Bill sitting up here like, yes, I wrote the book. I was a god. I killed Governor Burrell. Well, you know, I was just like, is this a joke? So then we flash over and we see Sookie watching the interview with Bill. She's all chilled out on the couch and stuff. And in walks Alcide with a gorgeous haircut. And thank you, because I was trying to understand why he was wearing that horrible wig in the beginning of the episode. It wasn't moving. It looked lopsided. It wasn't combed. Like, I was like, they couldn't take a little bit of time to make it look right. It was just bad. But that haircut was gorgeous. So he walks in the room there, you know, he ain't got no shirt on, so that was enjoyable. I honestly enjoyed that a lot more than I enjoyed seeing Eric's stuff. You know, so they're obviously boos because, you know, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, do you mind me watching this? Since that's her ex. And he's like, no, I don't mind because you ain't gonna be watching it no more. So he picks her up and they go into the bedroom. Okay, so we know what's gonna happen next. Yeah. So then we go to, what do we go to? So then we go to, then we go to Jason's place. All right, and he's going down on Violet for a long time, longer than I really wanted to watch. It was just really long, and you know, she's clearly enjoying it. He's got this little shrine that he made down in the basement for her. He got this beautiful bedroom he made for her in the basement, and you know, he's like, okay, you know, she finishes. He's like, yeah, so, and he starts to get ready, and she's like, whoa, it ain't time yet. So he mentions to her that he's been going down on her for over 178 days or something like that, sometimes 2-3 times a day, and why won't she let him do it yet? And she's like, it's not time yet, and when the time is right. And he's like, he's been behaving. He hasn't been even looking at another woman, which you know is a feat, okay, for Jason. You know, and she's like, yeah. Now, that's where I worry, because it's one thing to tease. It's another thing to just, I mean, he got to give it to you, but you're not going to give it to him? Vampire or not, Jason doesn't seem like the type of person that will put up with that for a very long time, which I feel like will result in Jason being killed. So I'm hoping that something gets better. Either she gives up the goods or something. Okay, so yeah. So we spend entirely too much time on that scene. Thank you very much. And I'm actually fast forwarding through it because there's just a lot of crazy stuff. Then we go to church, I think. We go from them doing all of this nasty stuff. And then we go to, we go to church. Everybody's dressed up at church. That's a heck of a juxtaposition, if you will. And Andy is talking to Sam. Everybody is going into church. Sam is talking about, Andy wants to separate church and government. And Sam is trying to tell Andy, Andy was talking about separating it. And Sam's trying to tell Andy that that's not a good idea. And that he would really like Andy to support him on what they're doing. So they go into the church. Alcide and Sookie are there all dressed up in their Sunday best. And apparently they're testing everyone. Everybody is getting a blood test to test for the Hep V virus to see if, although they're not vampires, they are carriers. A lot of the humans are carriers for it. So everybody's getting tested. Jason's a little scared of the needle prick. And then they have service, okay? And Reverend Daniels is there with Tara's mama, because you know they're married. And the preacher for that church, who's a white preacher, I'm not sure what his name is, I'm so sorry. He introduces Reverend Daniels. They show how in the audience, in the congregation, you got the black people over here, you got the white people over here. It was very separated, it was very obvious. So Reverend Daniel comes up and he's like, yo, like, what's going on with everybody? Like, everybody mingle, switch over, sit next to somebody you don't know, you know, say hi or whatever. And then he kind of gives this speech about people joining together, you know, to deal with these sick, nasty vampires who are going around killing everybody. We got to unite. It's about unity. We got to get together. We got to work together. So then he introduces Mayor Sam Merlot. Mayor Merlot. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Lala was in the congregation looking as awesome as ever. He's always so fierce. Okay, honey, I love me some Lala. I have a problem with the fact that I haven't heard him speak. But they better do better next episode. I mean, next season. I'm sorry. They better give Lala some more parts. Because I'm going to tell you right now, he's the reason that I came back for season 2. Lala was the reason that this whole show grabbed me in the first place. Okay? I was devastated because I thought he was dead. I came back for season 2 just to make sure because my heart was broken and he wasn't. And I was like, okay, I'm a bloody for real. Shout out to Miss Nina. Much love from KY. I'm also going to shout out some other channels, some other people who do True Blood reviews, and just some people that I love from YouTube, period. I call them my YouTube dream team. But I'm going to do that at the end of this. So Sam gets up and he kind of tells people that he would like everybody to get together and come to this meet and greet for at Belle Fleur's Bar and Grill. So obviously now Terry's wife, oh, why is her name escaping me? Arlene owns Merlot's. It's now Belle Fleur's. And of course, Sam is the mayor, so I guess he didn't have time to run the bar anyway. Don't know if he gave it to her or if she bought it. But either way, they invited everybody over to a meet and greet at the bar. Free food, everything, so that they can meet healthy vampires and hopefully join into a monogamous feeding relationship with the vampires, so that the vampires can protect the humans from the Hep V disease vampires who are running around just killing people and eating people and all that other stuff. So some people were like, oh, you done lost your mind coming up here in church asking us to meet up with some vampires so we could feed them and stuff. It seemed like a really crazy idea, but it does seem like it kind of works. I honestly feel like the spin of it is just in order to appease the humans, because I think that the vampires actually need the humans more than the humans need the vampires. So either way, of course, I'm going on to an hour. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, so we see that, and some people are not with it. Some people are. We kind of flash forward. And I'm trying to figure out why this little black girl that Sookie and Alcide sat next to was acting really funny, and they kind of gave her some attention. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. But there was something going on with her. So we saw Nicole in the congregation too. She's nice and pregnant and smiling with Sam, so obviously she stayed in there together, and she's having their baby. He smelled right in the last episode. And then so they say their speech or whatever, and they get to going, and we go to the meet and greet. James is performing. Everybody's dancing and singing and stuff like that. You know, Violet's being all weird because Jason smiled at somebody for too long while he was, you know, pouring beer and carrying corn. You got vampires that are meeting people and dancing and stuff like that. Jessica's looking kind of lost. I think she goes to Andy's. She sees that Andy and Adeline aren't there, because Andy's like, I'm not bringing Adeline out, especially not at a party full of vampires, you know, especially with these sick vampires all over the place too. Like, no. She told Sam that he wasn't doing it. He wasn't showing up or whatever. So Jessica notices that they're not there. She goes over to their house. Andy's like, you lost your mind coming here. She's like, I'm really sorry. I can't give you back what I, you know, took away from you. I'm really, really sorry for killing your daughters, but I would like to offer my protection. You know, Andy pulls a gun and threatens to blow her head off. And I understand it. And Jessica understood it. But I do know, you know, Andy finally was just like, whatever, closed the door in her face. I understand that Andy wouldn't do it. I didn't think that he would do it anyway. He's hurt, but he's not a killer. He wouldn't just kill her like that. He's just not that type of person. And I hurt for Andy too, because I felt like him losing 3 of his daughters like that was just wrong. Andy and Arlene are 2 people that just have things happen to them. And it's like, why? That is so wrong. It's so wrong. And it broke my heart when his daughters died. You know, so quickly. He started to get used to them and get attached to them and everything. He was falling in love with them just as fast as they were growing. And to have them taken away from him like that, you know, I know Jessica will probably never forgive herself, but she's a baby too. And Bill shouldn't have left her with them, and he should have been, you know, less focused on trying to get his little synthesized fairy blood and more focused on protecting his source and protecting Jessica, his progeny. So whatever. So she goes and she stays. She offers her protection to their house or whatever from the Hep B vampires, even though Andy didn't want it. Alcide and Sookie are. Oh, that was the thing. The catch was they invited everybody to Bellefleur's Bar and Grill so that they could get their results of the blood test to see if they were Hep B carriers or not. And while they were there, they were asked to meet up with vampires if they were healthy, if they did not have the virus, if they weren't a carrier, and become, and enter into a monogamous feeding relationship with the vampire for protection. Okay. So Alcide and Sookie are there. They're like, we ain't here to meet nobody. We just gonna say hi or whatever, show our love to Arlene, and then bounce. Then Tara and Willa are kind of standing on the side. They're talking. They're having a good time or whatever. And Tara's mother pops up. Now, she's married to Reverend Daniels. So they were kind of a part of this, Reverend Daniels and Sam, Mayor Sam, kind of came up with this thing together. So she's there. Tara doesn't want to talk to her. She asked Willa if she would let Tara talk to her, tell Tara to talk to her. Now, she pulls her into a barn, and this was the most disturbing, and I know it was probably touching for other people, but this was the most disturbing scene for me in this episode. When she gave her that speech about how she was so broken up with her father dying that she hurt for herself and she forgot to hurt for Tara. And some days she forgot to feed Tara, which is what a mother is supposed to do. So she took off her little scarf from around her neck and she offered herself to Tara and she said, come on, baby, let mama feed you. Let me nourish my baby girl. And I was like, no, this is not happening. And she begged Tara to bite her neck and feed on her. And I was like, Tara, you don't do that. I understand that this is a touching moment, but don't you? And Tara popped them things out and ran over to her mama, and I almost gagged. I was like, there is something really wrong. I feel like, I don't know. For me, I feel like the vampires, when they feed on people, they have like a very heavy sexual connotation to it. So to have your mother stand up there talking about, please drink my blood and let me feed you, it just seemed really weird. They were probably going for touching, but for me, I was just completely grossed out. It just seemed wrong. Bring me somebody to drink, but I'm not drinking your blood, Mom. It's just wrong. And I honestly think that her mother is infected. I can't trust Tara's mama no further than I trust that wig she had on her head. I think she's infected. If I'm wrong, that's awesome. But I just don't trust her, and I think that she's trying to kill Tara. She has never, ever supported her, never loved that girl from day one. And I just don't see how people could just turn around like that and be different. I don't know. I just don't. That's just me. I don't trust nobody. So either way, that happens, and we go outside. Bill comes to the meet and greet. He runs into Sookie. He offers Sookie his protection. Alcide is like, I'll protect her. She's mine. It was funny because Bill was like, well, you're not good enough. Or you're not enough or whatever. And Alcide got pissed off. He's like, calm down, Bright Eyes. You need a vampire. And then as they're going back and forth or whatever, the dirty, nasty, stinky, Hep B vampires all show up. A whole horde of them bad boys show up to the party on the outside. They just come flying in from everywhere while everybody's inside doing a meet and greet. And the show goes off. All right, Radioactive. So that was my review. I'm so sorry for it being late, guys. I love you. Yes, I'm close to an hour. I hope you still enjoy it anyway. Shout out to Much Love from KY. Shout out to Bondi Blue. Ashley Miller, 87. I'm sorry, Ashley Shy Miller. I can't even remember. I'm sorry, but Ashley Miller, you guys know her. She doesn't do True Blood, but I love her. Justin J, I love him. Mr. Still Standing, I love him. House of Targaryen, he does True Blood. I love him. Miss P TV 90, I love them. I hope I'm not getting the words wrong. I'm trying to rush right now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys again soon. Comment below, like me, do all that other stuff. I love you. Bye bye. Going to go kiss my baby and spend some time with him. Okay, bye bye. Love you guys.